It's a pleasure to call Allan Dorans to make his maiden speech.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, for the opportunity to make this my maiden speech. I am honoured and privileged to have been elected to represent the constituents of Ayr, Carrick and Cumnock on the west coast of Scotland. However, I would not be here for not the commitment of my campaign team who worked tirelessly to get me elected, and for the people who voted for me, the 20,272 people who put their trust in me to act with honesty and integrity as their representative. I am proud and pleased, Madam Deputy Speaker, that my son Peter is in the public gallery. Peter is a civil servant. He has asked me, perhaps understandably, that I campaign to increase civil servants' pay, which for many in the civil service has been reduced in real terms since the Tories came to power in 2010. This is something which I am sure will be supported by many of his colleagues and many of our hard-working civil servants across the country, including those who support the police. Mr. Speaker, Madam Deputy Speaker, Ayr, Carrick and Cumnock is a constituency of rural and coastal communities with rich farmland, thriving food and drinks industries, a manufacturing base and, of course, outstanding tourist and leisure facilities, including some exceptional golf courses. It is a relatively large constituency, being about 50 miles from north to south and 22 miles east to west. The largest town, Ayr, was established by royal charter granted in 1205 by Richard the Lion. It was described accurately by our bard, Rabbie Burns, as Old Ayr, where narrow towns have passes for honest men and bonny lasses. Madam Deputy Speaker, who am I to argue with the bard? To the south of the constituency is Maybole, the ancient capital of Carrick, and the picturesque seaside town of Girvan. To the east of the constituency are the former mining towns, proud towns, villages in Cumnock, New Cumnock and Mellington, Patna, and my home village of Daly, amongst others. Famous people associated with the constituency include King Robert the Bruce, who was born in Tunbury Castle, who went on to lead the fight for Scottish independence, winning the Battle of Bannockburn in 1314. Keir Hardie, one of the founders and first leaders of the Labour Party, who made his home in Cumnock, and a beautiful commemorative bust of Keir Hardie proudly stands outside Cumnock Town Hall. And Rabbie Burns, our national bard, whose birthday is celebrated this week. It is not by accident that I mention these three very famous individuals, Madam Deputy Speaker, as they all share my passion for freedom and self-determination for Scotland. By tradition, I pay tribute to my predecessor, Bill Grant. I do this without difficulty, as Bill and I were councillors together, and we agreed at the beginning of the council that we'd work together collaboratively for the benefit of our constituents and not along political lines. Perhaps a model that could be followed by others, Madam Deputy Speaker. In addition to Bill's contribution to Parliament, I can also say that he worked with integrity and did the best for what he thought was for the community. Madam Deputy Speaker, in a former career, I was a police officer. I served here in London with the Metropolitan Police, both as a uniform response officer and a detective, achieving the rank of Detective Inspector. With the help of the Commons Library, I've been able to establish that I'm probably only the fourth person ever to have served in both the Metropolitan Police and the Commons since 1829. Madam Deputy Speaker, I could regale the Chamber with hours of stories of frontline policing, but I won't. But I will mention one particular incident where I had a Stanley knife held to my throat by a seriously mentally ill man. I do not mention this to make me look brave or to even be lucky to still be alive, but to highlight the importance of investment in effective mental health services to support the work of the police. There is a growing realisation that for many years mental health has been seriously underfunded, and I would wish to see this change, Madam Deputy Speaker. One more. Madam Deputy Speaker, I want to turn briefly to the Prime Minister's promised to increase policing by 20,000 in the next 3 years. 26,000 police officers are going to retire in the next 3 years. So realistically, he's going to have to recruit 46,000 police officers. I look forward to seeing how that progresses. Madam Speaker, I turn briefly to something which is not covered by criminal law in this country, but which will undoubtedly go down as one of the greatest crimes of this century. I refer to the grand theft of the pensions of the WASPy women. 3.8 million in this country, including 6,800 in my own constituency, who have had their pensions stolen. They've been denied the chance to retire when they expected to. They're robbed of the opportunity to spend time with their families, especially their grandchildren. They're suffering financial difficulties and mental health issues caused by the loss of that pension. And tragically, some have died before reaching their enforced delayed retirement age. I would therefore urge the Government to look again with the greatest urgency at the plight of these WASPy women and to right the cruel injustice once and for all. In conclusion, Madam Deputy Speaker, during my acceptance speech on election night, I said I sincerely hoped that this is the last time that the people of Ayr, Carrick and Cumnock need to send an elected representative to Parliament in Westminster. I look forward with confidence to the time in the not-too-distant future that Scotland will be an independent country, able to choose its own future, a time when the decision as to whether Scotland should be a member of the European Union and all other matters affecting Scotland will be decided by the people of Scotland. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker.
King Bradley.
Speaker, I have to start by